So welcome guys, I've actually got an interesting one today. This month, as I've said to you, we're doing a lot for Pride. I said there'll be a couple of tutorials in and amongst for Pride, alongside there have been a lot of stories and art over on Instagram. There's already been a few go out. Depending on when this has been shown, there may have been a lot more than a few. This particular design is exceptionally important to me. Being a Aspie woman and someone that's bisexual, the combination of the two is a rock that for me means a lot. But you see, I'm not alone with that. People with Asperger's very regularly, actually the largest percentage within general population, actually do identify with one of the core Pride, be it gay, lesbian, non-binary, transgender. I can't recall the percentage fully, but it's a higher percentage than people that aren't neurodiverse. So for that reason and that reason alone, and for the fact that, as I said, this is both these symbols are me, I have a cool tutorial for you. Now the first symbol here, it is a rainbow too, but that rainbow is different. This rainbow is actually our neurodiverse symbol. This is the symbol that is used for people that are autistic and on the spectrum. Now it is the one that is preferred nowadays by most people on the spectrum, due to a lot of controversy around the jigsaw piece symbol. Now that's not saying that I'm not getting into that debate right now. If you want to know more about it, let me know. But right now, this is the symbol I choose to use for when to identify me. So this is the one I'm going with. I have used jigsaw pieces on my page before within my artwork, however, simply because I had an entire series about autism and I had lots of guest artists on, and many of them identified that way. So we're beginning this by drawing a figure of 8 really lightly. So you see how I'm going round? I want you to draw the first line of your figure of 8, and then I want you to do the same again round here. I want you to draw inside that figure, just marking these out, and we're drawing the second, and you'll end up with, once we turn it back onto the side, an infinity symbol. Now, one of those sides you'll be choosing as your preference to go over the top and one to go under. That's absolutely perfect. That's how we want it. I'm just going to, please don't mind the noise, I'm just trying to find a rubber because I'm going to need one. And it's going to be the day I don't have one anywhere near me. Nope, no rubbers. That's not good. I'm just going to stop pausing for a minute and so we put around here. I need a rubber. So there'll be a go back bit point around there. I can just actually start this entire thing again. No, I don't need to do that. Because you can cut, can't you?
Yeah. As long as I know it's
yeah.
the relevant video that I need, so it's not an issue at all.
You don't need to hear me say stop recording though, do you?
No.
Right. One rubber, like magic, appeared in my hand. Amazing technology that, isn't it? It's almost like we stopped filming for a second to find a rubber and it magically appeared. That can't be what we did. But not here. So we have that, and I'm going to rub across this line here, and that therefore is giving the preference, the one that's going over the top is going to be that line. Now, and the one that's going underneath is going to be this line. Now this symbol is also very, very much the infinity symbol. So But both these groups are very high on one thing that's exceptionally important, which is inclusion. And a lot of them, a lot of us have suffered, well, we've just been treated differently because of who we are. And I can tell you stories based on that, based on disability, based on mental health. But today we're talking about this. So, yeah, I have got lots of stories coming forward in the coming months about what it's like to be an Aspie woman, what it's like to get diagnosed very late in life, and so forth. So we're drawing a love heart, as you can see, coming right at the top of that. And then I'm just writing, love is love, along our bottom. And if I write bubble writing almost naturally, so I'm going to stop doing that for a second. I'm going to write the letter S, just normally, and then I'm going to draw one line down from that and draw another one. And you'll see there'll be a couple of bits that I need to fill in. But overall, I've formed a letter. And the same goes for any of them. I'm going to do the letter L. I draw a little line there. And then I'm going to do another letter L. And then just join it. And our O is O with a little O inside. Our V. Got a little line there. And we're going to draw another V. And then we can just join it. So I've been drawing bubble writing since our little lines could be inside that E, so we'll be obviously getting rid of that. Since I was exceptionally young, I got taught how to do it at school. No idea why. I just did. So, but love is love. So we have our basic design. Now we can see here that we're going to want this. There's a triangle marking in because we're using the unity flag. Now, I have a lot of information about flags coming up, but the unity flag is the newest, basically, the most updated flag that stands for a lot. I don't know how to phrase it. I'd say some of the more modern ideas. And it's transitioning a flag that was designed way back in the 70s to where we are today. So it's including different colours for different meanings, which I'll talk to you about the new ones, because the old ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there you go, we're just marking lines for our colours. The old ones, I always kind of lose myself on remembering that information, and that's cracking on that, so annoying. So we are going to paint this. As you can see, we're starting with a lovely vibrant red that goes all the way round the edge of the neurodiverse symbol, and I think I'm going to use a thin filbert instead. Yeah, and I'm just going to stop for 1 second, Michael. That tapping, I can't handle it while you're tapping your feet. So I'm just going to go around the edge like that with the filbert. And that's a bit of red there. I also am using red on top line here. Now, as I said, these colours here, red stands for, I believe, sex. But we have things like orange, we've got sunlight, we've got nature, love, passion, magic, harmony, serenity. And as you can probably hear by that, it was formed in the 70s. They are very cool, but they are still rather cool ideas. And, well, one of my old nicknames for screen names, actually included the word hippie before my first name. So anything that sounds like it's from the 70s, it's actually rather cool by me. The fact that this is actually both logos actually also identify me and they're full of colour makes it even cooler if you ask me. But that might just be me being me. So the orange, for adding the orange on here and a bit going across. That's our next colour. And we are using that orange in our letter, which we will be marking off, thankfully. The centre of that with a pen in the end. But I can put a white dot in the centre of that to make that clear in the end. And I'm going to put a little bit more on there because that's not showing through at all. So, yellow. Now, as you can see, that's starting to cross over here. So it wants to cross here. And we know we've got this right because we've already drawn through to make this shape. But if we hadn't, we could have ended up with a very higgledy-piggledy shape looking shape. So we know this is already the figure of 8 from our original drawing. So we just want to make sure this bit goes over and that bit goes under. And then we've got, obviously, our other yellow here. And when I do, I've got a vlog coming up where I'm going to be painting all the flags while I'm speaking. Or trying to paint them all. I may not get through all of them, but I'm going to try. I will tell you a lot more about the history of the flags and a bit more about my own personal history, which I wrote a vlog about. A blog about, but for people that prefer audio, then it will be in an audio version too. So, and why have I put green before blue? You see, that's good. At least green mixes quite nicely with blues to make just a different shade of green. So there we go. Then we're going to obviously go to green, not blue next, because that's the order of a rainbow. And then I have my sky blue. And by marking out how many I needed to go down here, I know I'm not going to become cluttered at the bottom and run out of space to actually put all the colours of the rainbow on the way down, which is exceptionally important. So I've got a darker shade of blue here, but I also need to put it on here. I'm having a minute. I suffer from fogs. There's a lot of you that I've been on Insta may know, and that means I kind of get lost sometimes. You'll see I'm leaving my lettering. That's because I want to use a calligraphy pen to do the rest of it. So we're going to use the dark blue to come wrap around here and there, and we've got a darker one here. Now I haven't gone for as dark as that because I actually quite like the brighter colours on here, but that's a choice and that I made. You could obviously go for slightly different. Now, and then we've got the purple, which is just going to finish it off and blend them together. And at the bottom here, we've got just the perfect space for that to slot in and do that. Now, you'll notice at the top of the pride flag, now, there is a little bit of a change. This is the little triangle coming in. That wasn't there last year. Well, I think it's 2018. This started the idea of this, but it's come massively into play this year. Now, it's because the flag's been changing year after year until we're finding something everybody's happy with. Now, our black line and our brown line, one stands for inclusivity and one stands for diversity. Both things that Pride as a whole should be standing for, and it is exceptionally important to Pride. Then we have the blue and the light pink, which will go into a white at the end, and they're the colours of the transgender flag. Now, the reason that's on there is because for flag originally stood for sexuality, but a lot of gender has come and fallen under the same umbrella, and it's important to actually show that within the flag itself, and this is a way of doing so. So we have, especially when it comes to transgender, it was actually a drag queen, I believe, that started the first riots up in Stonewall. I'm making up places. Stonewall. So it is exceptionally important to remember where we came from and where we're doing this. Now, one of the reasons, the other big reasons that I find so important to do this is that even though in England we're completely free to marry, there are no restrictions on pretty much anything nowadays. We even had options on our census for different gender options. Now, in fairness, it was still very much a beginning when it came to gender, but it was a start. Our health services have started to separate gender and sex and be able to explain and teach what that is properly. And the other final big thing is marriage is legal, and that includes in most churches. I do say most because there are some vicars that won't, but it's like my local vicar for Pride put out a post at the beginning of Pride saying, making very clear that she stands with and that love is love, and that's what she sees it as. So we're living in kind of a different, we're very lucky. We're living in a different generation to what my grandparents lived in, what my parents lived in. Yeah, there's still ways to go. There's still hate crimes that go on. There's still problems. So, and we look in other countries where people aren't free to do all this, and that is important. But this is also important for me to do it with the Asperger's, because a lot of people with Asperger's struggle being at parades. They don't feel, and they struggle going, they struggle with the noise, and yet they want to be there and take part and feel included in everything that's going on. So it's exceptionally important to be aware that this group of people exist. And I will be doing another piece about people celebrating Pride that can't actually get to celebrate Pride, like myself. That will, for whatever reason, they're stuck inside, disabilities prevent them, and that's also worth being aware of. Then you've got people that are going to Pride, and there has been a lot of problems with accessibility over the last few years, so that's another thing that we will be talking about either here or on Instagram, and doing a bit of disability awareness alongside, which is one of the big things I do, because inclusivity includes obviously people in wheelchairs coming to Pride that just as much want to be there. And so anyway, now I've got a black fineliner, and I'm going to go around these edges, because you notice it's not all perfect, all the painting inside, but you'll notice as I go around these edges like that, that suddenly starts to not matter. And it starts to pop. And yeah, so that's kind of cool. So we're going to go all the way around this edge and make sure we're going over here, but we don't go over on the other side, because otherwise it ruins our infinity symbol, which is the idea of a symbol that never ends. So here we go. That's it. that will be going around there. And all the way around and over. Now, yeah. So, and I love is love. It's even more important with our lettering to make sure we're going to go around them, because some of our letters are very, very, very pale, especially the baby pink that's from the transgender flag. That's disappearing in sight. So we're going to sit here and go and surround all of them. Love is, there we go. And you see, around the darker layers, it's not really making much of a difference, but around like the that pale yellow, it does. And around the black here, it really won't make any difference at all. So, similar to the brown, but the pale blue will suddenly become more visible, as will that pale pink. Now at the end of that, obviously I had an exclamation mark that I haven't fit in this one. It's fine. If you want to do it, it's simply drawn. That's on the back. It was simply drawn like that and like that. So, everyone that is celebrating Pride, whether you are neurodiverse or not, disabled or not, however you're celebrating it, wherever you're celebrating it, have a really good Pride and a safe one, guys. I've been Arty Smarty Mum. I hope you've enjoyed this. And stay safe and well, guys.